Nancy Kulp, born on August 28, 1921, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, was the only child of Marjorie and Robert Tilden Kulp. Growing up in a close-knit family, Nancy developed a deep bond with her parents, who each had a significant impact on her character. Her mother, Marjorie, was a dedicated educator, inspiring Nancy's love for learning and discipline. Her father, Robert, worked as a traveling salesman, instilling in her a sense of independence and adaptability. These early lessons from her parents shaped Nancy into a resilient and determined individual. Although she was raised as an only child, Nancy's upbringing provided her with the right foundation to pursue her passions and interests, which ultimately led her to a remarkable career in entertainment. Education and early career choices. Nancy's academic path began at Florida State University, where she pursued a degree in journalism. She graduated in 1943, right in the midst of World War II. During her college years, Nancy worked as a writer for the Miami Beach Tropics newspaper, which introduced her to the world of entertainment. This experience sparked an interest in public figures and their stories, setting the stage for her future career in Hollywood. After graduation, Nancy continued her education at the University of Miami, but the call to serve her country was strong. Inspired by the war effort, she enlisted in the U.S. Naval Reserve's women's branch, known as WAVES, Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Service, where she excelled and received numerous commendations. Serving her country, WAVES and military service. Nancy's decision to join WAVES during World War II was both a brave and patriotic move. Women in the military was still a relatively new concept, and Nancy faced unique challenges as she served her country. Her hard work and dedication earned her respect from peers and superiors alike. After being honorably discharged in 1946, Nancy returned to civilian life, having contributed significantly to the war effort. Her military experience not only shaped her sense of duty and discipline, but also helped her develop the independence that would later define her career in Hollywood. Nancy's service in the military was a formative chapter in her life, highlighting her commitment to her country and paving the way for her later achievements in the entertainment industry, making her mark in Hollywood. After her time in the military, Nancy began exploring the world of acting. In 1951, she made her film debut in The Model and The Marriage Broker. Though the role was small, it was the beginning of a long and diverse career in Hollywood. Over the next few years, she appeared in several films, including The Caddy, 1953, where she showcased her comedic talent. However, it was her role as a maid in the iconic romantic comedy Sabrina, 1954, that brought her significant exposure. Despite her small role, the success of the film and her appearance in it helped cement her reputation as a reliable character actress. At the same time, Nancy began making appearances in television shows, marking the start of her long and successful television career. Rising popularity, television and film roles. By the mid-1950s, Nancy's television career was gaining momentum. She joined the cast of The Bob Cummings Show in 1955, where she played Pamela Livingstone, a quirky and intellectual character. Her performance made her a recognizable face to television audiences, and she soon became a familiar presence in both television and film. She guest-starred in several popular TV shows, such as Topper, December Bride, and General Electric Theatre. At the same time, she continued to land roles in feature films, including The Shrike and You're Never Too Young. Nancy's ability to seamlessly transition between genres, from comedy to drama, made her a versatile actress and highly sought after in both Hollywood and television. Pursuing politics, a bold move into public service. In 1984, Nancy took a bold step by running for public office. She became the Democratic nominee for Pennsylvania's 9th Congressional District in the United States House of Representatives. While she ultimately lost the election to the Republican incumbent, her candidacy was a testament to her courage and dedication to public service. Nancy had long been involved with the Democratic State Committee in Pennsylvania, and her political run reflected her strong values, particularly in the areas of education and social welfare. Although her time in politics was brief, it demonstrated her desire to make a meaningful difference in the world beyond entertainment. A return to education and mentorship. After her political aspirations, Nancy returned to her roots in education, becoming an artist in residence at Juniata College, a private liberal arts school in Pennsylvania. There, she taught acting and theater, mentoring a new generation of performers. Students admired her for her wisdom, humor, and vast experience in the live entertainment industry. Through her teaching, Nancy left a lasting impact on the next generation of actors, many of whom went on to have successful careers of their own. Nancy's return to education marked a new chapter in her life, one where she could pass on her knowledge and passion for acting to others. A life of philanthropy and personal fulfillment. Following her retirement from acting and teaching, Nancy moved to a farm in Connecticut, where she embraced a quieter, more peaceful lifestyle. Her move to rural life represented a conscious decision to step away from the public spotlight and enjoy a simpler existence. Later, she relocated to Palm Springs, California, where she became deeply involved in charitable work. Nancy supported organizations such as the Humane Society of the Desert Theatre League, and United Cerebral Palsy, all of which reflected her lifelong commitment to giving back to the community. Her post-retirement years were filled with service, demonstrating her deep compassion for animals, the arts, and individuals with disabilities. The legacy of Nancy Kulp. When Nancy Kulp decided to pen her memoir, she took a moment to reflect on the influential figures she encountered during her career. One of the most memorable was Red Fox, whom she described as massive, not just in fame, but in personality. Fox's presence in Hollywood was undeniable, and Nancy admired his unapologetic authenticity. Red Fox, who was known for his groundbreaking comedy and larger-than-life personality, made an indelible mark on Nancy. She confessed in her memoir that his reputation among women in Hollywood was legendary, and his charisma left a lasting impression on her. Despite their different comedic styles, Nancy acknowledged the boldness and fearlessness that Fox embodied in his work. For Nancy, meeting him was a moment of revelation, as she saw in him a man who refused to be confined by society's expectations. Battling cancer, a final challenge. In 1990, Nancy was diagnosed with cancer, a diagnosis that would change the course of her life. She underwent chemotherapy in an attempt to control the progression of the disease. Unfortunately, by 1991, the cancer had spread, and Nancy's health rapidly declined. Despite the challenges she faced during her treatment, Nancy remained brave and dignified in the face of her illness. She passed away on February 3, 1991, at the age of 69 in Palm Desert, California. Her death marked the end of a remarkable life, filled with achievements in both acting and education. Nancy Kulp's final resting place. After her passing, Nancy's remains were interred at Westminster Presbyterian Cemetery in Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. This cemetery, located in her home state, allowed her family and friends to pay their respects in a peaceful setting. The choice of Mifflintown as her final resting place connected her to her roots, symbolizing a return to the community that had nurtured her early years. Though she had spent much of her life in the spotlight, her resting place reflected a quiet return to the simplicity and tranquility she had sought in her later years. Nancy's legacy continues to inspire and influence those who remember her for her talent, humor, and commitment to helping others.